Alright, I'm J.Legend of the A.P.L.E. 9, doing a Defender of Freedom series on tactical things. Alright, in this series it's going to evolve. You're going to hear lots of different things from concealed carry, things like why you would carry something smaller versus something bigger. Alright, we're going to talk about the use of dummy rounds in your training, doing stress drills. Alright, wear gloves, have gloves, you know, be part of the kit, whether they're fingerless. Make sure you use them in your training. Helmets, knives. You know, we're obviously in an undisclosed location, somewhere in the free states of America, where you're still allowed to have suppressors. You're still allowed to have knives that are assist. All right, you're allowed to do things still because you're freer here in the what we'll call the Southern Gate. Okay, so all right, again. All right, we're going to talk about the uses of Kevlar and why they're important. You know, I saw one of my battle buddies back in the day. He was, you know, we were leaving formation and we were ducking out and running underneath one of the barracks stairwells, and he ducked full speed, ran into the stairwell and split his wig open, knocked himself out. We ended up having to go and get stitches. Okay, so that was just running full speed. And when you're doing things full speed tactical, you want to be smooth, all right? You know, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, right? Well, even going at that speed, you can still split your wig open, and you're not necessarily looking and judging things correctly, like height, things to that nature. You know what I mean? So we're going to talk about these Team Wendy helmets, which are, this is the Juggernauts, by the way. You can tell right there, you know. Why we got our blood type on there. You know, as an A.P.L.E. Ranger, you might be showing up to a location, nobody necessarily knows you. You might have come alone as a single rider to something going on, to one of the A.P.L.E. missions, right? So here's your name, you got your call sign on your back, right? You got a blood type, because again, if something happens to you, you know what I mean? This is nice. You got an identifier, they can get blood to you very quickly. We got A.P.L.E. Defender of Freedom Squad identifier, key identifier. And you know, he's got some pieces on either side. You know, this is the same for me. All right, they're not necessarily the exact same, right? You know, but I still got those identifiers. All right, same Team Wendy helmet. We really like these Team Wendys. Team Wendy did an outstanding job. His daughter, a little bit about the company. His daughter died from a traumatic brain injury. All right, so he made it his lifelong mission to make helmets to prevent traumatic brain injuries to soldiers and to adventurers, explorers, you know. So their helmets are awesome. So you're gonna see us wearing these helmets a lot, okay? Different holster systems. These are both leg holsters, different eras, okay? They weigh about the same, believe it or not. This one is leather lined with horsehide. All right, this one is tactical nylon. All right, with the lid, same thing, has a lid, right? And I'll take it over here real quick. This different style holster, all right? But this is a lag holster that has a flap on it, drop leg, and it can be adjusted, okay? Right? In the same context, this one is a drop holster, has a swivel, right? Lined with horsehide, all right? Very, very tightly seated. Okay, this ain't gonna move. So if you're looking for a lag holster, this could be an option for a 1911. Again, the 1911 has been around, I think, since 1911. All right, right. So you got the horsehide, World War II era 1911 holster, right? I'm doing things outside the box. So for my battle belt on this table, on this example, okay, the battle belt has a mix of old and new technologies. All right, nylon, leather, okay, all right. Cobra buckle, you know, this is a 1 7/5 rigid belt. And I burned holes with my friend G, a Vietnam vet, to fit this as a drop lag holster. So when I was riding my horse, I used to do physical therapy with the veterans program, Bethany's Gate out of where was it, Arizona there. Anyways, so I ended up getting my own horse, you know, to take me further into the back country. But that brings me to a little something else. I gotta go into a different direction a little bit. So I'm J.Legend, a defender of freedom. All right, I was injured and I served in the military, Army Infantry, active duty from 2000 to 2003. In 2003, I broke a vertebrae in Korea. Me and Mark at that time were talking about starting a company, a security company in 2003. And since I just injured my back, you know, 9/11 had just happened. We had buddies in the fight for freedom over in Baghdad. We had brothers over in Iraq and all over the Middle East. You know, and I just broke my vertebrae, so I needed to take a time out, and that's why, which was awesome because I met my wife, you know, and we got married in that time off from the military, and I got called back to active duty. And what ended up happening was they cleared me, and I went back with a unit, and due to carrying excessive weight, right, as an infantryman, this would be like a traditional load, one that you'd wear on your chest. Inside, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but there's two 30-round magazines in each one of these, okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, okay, by 30 rounds equals a whole lot of weight. This thing empty, I think I said, what, like 5 to 8 pounds, okay, just all on your chest, empty, okay, without any ammo in these, okay. So one of the things that I've been trying to do since I injured my spine, I was, you know, like I said, active duty infantry over in Iraq with the unit. Ended up carrying a lot of excessive gear. Now this is also like 3 pounds, 2.5 pounds or something, like under 3 pounds, really light. It's very light. I don't know, go check out the specs and maybe I'll print them, you know, a link to Team Wendy's at some point, okay, but you can check it out. All right, but they're very light, about at least 3 pounds lighter than the Mitch helmet I was issued, okay, and way nice. Comes with the MVG shroud, okay, all ready on it, ready to go. All right, has an adjustable headpiece. It's hot, man. Okay, well, you'll see us in later videos, but basically carrying about 178 pounds of gear loaded on my body, all in my upper torso, okay, with the body armor, with the camelback, with the helmet, with my weapon system, okay. And we were running, going on a mission, going to jump into the Humvee, bent over, and I lifted up my 68 more pound rucksack, all right, and I ended up bulging out 7 discs, ended up having to get medevac. Walter Reed operated on me, messed up in the surgery after killing the guy prior to my surgery. They overdosed him and killed him, and I went next, and I woke up. I had they didn't give me enough narcotics, which caused my body to go into shock, and I had seizures for 30 hours. And when I woke up from it, I was paralyzed from my waist down. It took 9 months to learn how to walk again. And that was a little over 10 years ago. We're coming into year 11. I went from a wheelchair to a walker to 2 canes, you know, to 1 cane, and still using my wheelchair and my cane together for a while, all up until like this last August. I finally just dropped my cane, and I'm feeling like I can handle my balance a lot more. Here I'm a lot further out. But as a war fighter, I've always wanted to go back into the fight and never was able to. And so recently, you know, and over the years I had all this tactical nylon, all this stuff has been used, okay? We've used all this kit extensively, okay? And the thing is, over the years I've found that this is great for certain applications, okay? This is great if you're a war fighter, active duty, you know, you need to wear all this because it's your SOP, okay? But this is like not geared towards your body coming out of this thing feeling great, okay? This is geared towards your body eventually breaking down and dying like everybody else's body here on a fallen planet, okay? So what I'm trying to find out is how in this new place where I can't necessarily move super speed, super fast. All right, but again, slow is smooth and smooth is fast, and that's how you can win. All right, is by not going so fast, you're tripping over things. Not going so fast, you're setting off booby traps. You know what I'm saying? You're going fast enough that you can take everything in around you as it comes. Enough that you can continue to proceed. Okay? So you need to go that fast, but no faster than that. All right? So in this context too, all right? So here's all this heavy gear. Okay? An active duty soldier, I was wearing probably like 178 pounds of gear all the time. Okay? So now, guess what? That takes away from my speed, period. So how do I continue to move in the condition that my body's in without carrying all this? How do I make a kit that's gonna be right for where I'm at in my stage of life so I can fight my fight, whatever that fight may be? I'm a war fighter, always will be till the day I die. Swore an oath against all enemies, foreign and domestic, right? Till the day I die. Not that doesn't retire me when I got injured and got out. And leave it to the young baby-faced kids coming up. All respects to you youngsters coming into the teams, okay? Because it's Team America. And you know, once you've done your service, you'll always be part of the team. You're a part of that brotherhood who stood up in the defense of freedom and answered the call when a lot of brothers didn't stand, okay? And again, the A.P.L.E.A Rangers is not just exclusive for those who served in the military. It's not just exclusive for prior law enforcement or first responders, okay? But it's anyone who shares the heart for Team America, for what our forefathers spoke about in the Constitution, okay? Who stand with Israel, okay? We honor the blood that was shed between our forefathers in World War II, okay? And never will we look to disrespect that, okay? So we make that stand and we make that pledge saying, you know, a lot of shed blood over World War II, and we wouldn't dishonor that. Same with the Civil War, a lot of bloodshed, okay? In the defense of freedom, okay? And we did that, and we came through a rough time as our nation did in the Civil War, okay? All the way up in our nation's history, all the way back to the revolutionary times. One of the reasons we chose the name A.P.L.E.A Rangers speaks of heroes, period, okay? And Rangers predates even the Army Rangers, when America wasn't even a nation. All right, when it was first at its founding, before its founding, there was the Rangers, okay, and then they became the Rogers Rangers, okay. And in that same kind of theory, my brother, the Juggernaut, you all know him, right, talks about you are the first responder to your own crisis, okay. You know, he was there at 9/11 at Ground Zero with his unit feeding the first responders there on site at Ground Zero. So these are some of the reasons we, as Team A.P.L.E.A, okay, as Team America, as A.P.L.E.A Rangers, as Defender of Freedom squad members, all right, as riders, all right, who ride on behalf of Team America, okay, we have a deep passion to see, you know, freedom come around so that in such a way like our forefathers spoke of, man, all right, back in the revolutionary days, okay, where they were talking, you know, it's for this land is your land, this land is my land, this land belongs to you and me, okay? And you know, more and more it seems like we're losing our saying thing. And I hope my children get an America that's better than the one I grew up in. But I believe the stories, I believe the histories that I was taught, okay? Paul Revere, all those guys, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, and all the blood that was shed for this land to be something that their children would inherit one day that was going to be more than what they had, okay? So, that being said, we'll continue to move on. So we're going to go over talking about suppressors, all right? What's the benefits of them? What's the point, right? So we're going to talk about that. We got lots of new magazines from Hex Mags. They're made in the USA. Okay, 30 round mags we're gonna do some testing on, okay? You know, again, you know, I just wanted, you know, a lot of you guys know what we're talking about, but again, this is like kind of introduction to the A.P.L.E.A Rangers, but some of what we're gonna go over in the tactical series, okay? And why You won't see me wearing one of these, okay? This is up here as an example. Now, I'm not saying this, hey, fill this up full of ammunition if you need to and keep this in your truck, okay? And guess what? This is your go bag, all right? But, you know, as a soldier, you wear your equipment. You wear your equipment non-stop. You wake up, you put it on. You go to sleep, you take it off. That's where it happens. You don't take it off in between unless you're taking a dump. And even then, I got in trouble for that. So, so I just want to say, so if you got to carry it all day, all right, you're carrying this equipment all day long, but yet you're in a place where your body is no longer a 19-year-old, okay? You prior injured. You got injured on the injured list, but yeah, you still want to figure out how to fight for you. Maybe you lost limbs, okay? And I'll tell you what, pulling a huge ass pistol is a hard ordeal. And now you got to figure out how to sell something. Get the right tools in your hands, all right? You're a war fighter. You always will be, okay? Even if you're missing limbs till the day you die, right? Right? And if somebody was trying to harm your family or your neighborhood, this is what the Ranger is about. Find other brothers like yourselves. 8 other brothers that you can do life with, equal to an adequate for doing life with. You'll hear me in the Juggernaut flow on this later. Okay, we're gonna go out and hit the range later today, do some shooting, do some A.P.L.E.A Ranger stuff. And what part of this is stuff that you guys can do with your brothers, okay? Find somebody, like the key says, you know, 2 is 1, 1 is none. Find some brothers that are equal to and adequate for doing life with you, okay? Who will do things with you that you feel are important in your time to do, okay? For one, like having barbecues with your wife and kids, going fishing with your children, going shooting with just your boys, okay? To get away from your wife and kids and tell combat stories, tell fireman stories, tell police stories, tell stories about work, all right? You know, somebody to share the drudgery with, you know, and just doing things. So then, and also planning together. So if something kicked off, you guys actually have a strategy that's together, okay? Again, like I was saying, right? This holster can go into being like on a belt if you had to wear a jacket. One of the reasons, this again is for those who know and those who don't know. And like I said, there's gonna be guys who are not professionals, who are A.P.L.E Rangers, and there's gonna be guys who are prior service, lots of experience. And see, this is why they need to be equal to and adequate for. It doesn't mean you all have the same skill sets, okay? It means you all might have different skill sets, okay? Like I have a buddy of mine, he did 20 years in the 10th Special Forces. Then he went on to do 10 more or 20 more years as a SWAT team, all right? And if this guy was in maybe late 50s, okay? And if he was in, and we were all in the same A.P.L.E squad, if all of a sudden in our neighborhood, things are happening, okay? And somebody's in a hostage situation and he's my neighbor and we're like, what do we need to do, brother? All right? Show us and we'll fall in behind you, okay? And then when the crisis is over, again, everybody is equals around this round table, you're all men, you're all heads of your own homes, right? Bringing all of our life's experience to the table, because if something was to happen in America, we can't just expect the police and the law enforcement to take care of all of our needs, okay? All right, so something else. So I mean, if some of you got, you know, something like this doesn't protect the front sight, okay? Doesn't protect the front sight as much, doesn't conceal it as much. But if you wanted a slimmer profile, this would be a great piece to wear it with. Again, you wouldn't necessarily want that if you were going with something like an executive protection job. That would be a good piece to carry, okay? Executive protection job on a different belt setup. A lot of these pieces can be modified in different configurations to be whatever you need it to be. But basically, this is gonna take the weight off my chest, a battle belt, all right? And the benefits of battle belts, all right? Real quick, they started coming back in popularity. You know, back in the NOM, they had LBEs, okay? Which was basically what I learned on too. 2 green pouches, you know, they hold frags on the side, 3 in each, you know, and then the harness that goes around to a belt, and you could put a pistol on the belt, and everything was on the belt. But it wasn't the greatest either, because it wasn't necessarily tight on your hips. And now more in the modern, more recent years, okay, Like I said, I got injured in 2006. Okay, medevaced out of Iraq 2006. All right, so even after that, okay, I'm talking after my time. All right, battle belts started gaining popularity a lot more because guys were injuring their backs a lot more. Okay, so they would split the load. They would take a lot of this off their chest, a lot of stuff off their chest, start splitting it on a battle belt, right? And anybody who's done martial arts, a lot of power comes, all the power comes from your hips. Boom, right? This is where your center of gravity and your center of balance, you want it to be on your hips, okay? So when you're moving, you're balanced. And when you set up a battle belt, you're gonna wanna balance it. So on this, I have a pistol. This is a very heavy pistol, okay, with a mag in it. And on this side, I have magazines. All right, they're gonna balance each other, and they're gonna be distributing the weight with these suspenders. They're gonna be distributing the weight over my shoulders, as well as this is gonna be tight down on my hips. All right, so again, I got, even if this is a different setup later on, okay, say I have another setup, right, that's geared full out tactical. This could be my simplified rig to take to a range without being all tactical as well, okay? Or maybe I don't have the right stuff. Maybe I've been in the service, I got a lot of this. Maybe you can figure out a way to take what you got existing and make it into what you need it to be, whether it be trading, whatever. But you know what? Since my back is injured, this little 38, okay, has become one of my favorite carries. Okay, all right. Sometimes I use a different knife as well. All right. There's things I like about this. These can get stuck onto the ground when you're trying to deploy them. All right. All right, and they fail to open, or you can't reach them. They're in a pocket. They can fall out. I'm a big fan of a fixed blade. Okay. All right, but this is something I can carry every day, which weighs half the weight than this does. We're going to talk about, again, we got new magazines. Everybody's familiar with these if you've been in the service. Something we saw in the Middle East when I lived in Jerusalem was making a spacer with these mags, canting them a little bit, maybe like this much. All right, and we're going to do this with popsicle sticks. We're going to do this with tape, okay? And again, we're going to go into basics, battle drills with the rifles. All right, talk about battle drills with the rifles. Why I choose to carry this. All right, this is for me. This is my big tool. This is the tool I use. I've been living in the forest with my family for over a year. All right, all around the United States. We've been testing equipment. This is one of the things I've used the entire year. This is a Daniel Winkler. All right, yet another beautiful piece. You know, if I in the infantry we carry e-tools. All right, that's a lot of weight. This covers down on a lot of things for me. I can do a lot of bush tactics out here with one of these. If I needed a digging tool to make a poop hole, I'll use this. Make a stick into a digging tool. Okay, that's something I could do with this knife. All right, a heavier blade like this. All right, this is the length of blade I choose personally. Okay, I think is a great piece. I carry it on the cross draw. All right, you'll see this in the pictures. You know, we got new sights and we got new weapon systems coming as well from Juggernaut Tactical. We have the Freedom Rifle coming. You're gonna see this rifle right here being changed up. Okay, this is what we call the Bushmaster. This is one that you could just get off the shelf somewhere. Okay, you're gonna see a lot of different things contrasted against each other over a course of time. We're gonna have more ballistic nylon versions instead of just kind of a piece fit. But you're gonna see how each one can be something that, hey, maybe you're a trained guy and you got all this and you got a battle belt and all this, but you got a friend of yours that don't have nothing, okay? But he's got some stuff. You might be able to help him make something, help him think outside the box to create something that is different, all right? Doesn't have to be the same, because again, we're individuals, we're all unique, okay? We're not supposed to look the same, okay? You know, I always tell my buddies, I go, look, if you guys are all preppers, okay, don't just go to the Army Navy store and buy your family all their shit, okay? Because you know what? If there was an invading force, let's say, okay, guess what? And you had to take your family from one city to the next, and there's no cars, maybe you're walking, okay? And your family's all wearing Gore-Tex, camouflages, tactical colors, okay? Carrying rucksacks, and they look like a squad, okay? They all wearing camouflage pants, everybody's wearing BDUs and combat boots, okay? Well, guess what? An enemy troop looking through the glass can't tell necessarily that those are children, or they're just distanced different, okay? So that looks like a squad, okay? So now that puts you into a dangerous position with your children, okay? So putting some thought behind things, all right? And why you do it. Look, personally, I'll tell you what, if I'm going to war, I don't care. They're gonna shoot at me anyway, so I'll wear what I wear, but I'm gonna think about how I'm gonna prep my family as well, if that's something that I'm concerned with. So again, we just became dealers of sock slings, okay? So you're gonna see them on all of our blue guns, you're gonna see them on all of our long guns, and good to be here.